All right. Should we begin? Should we tell people why they're here and who we are?
Sure, you
Well,
start.
I start. Okay. We are Retire in Panama. That is our official registered name in Panama. We're Panama Expat Relocation Services Inc., doing business as Retire in Panama. We offer monthly tours, small group tours, 12 people at a time maximum, and we take them across the entire country. We introduce them to all the different expat locations, all the different professionals you're going to need to get this job done if you're deciding to move here. We also do private tours. We do other things to help expats and buying their cars, getting their pets here, and we're kind of like.
But the one thing sorry to interrupt you, but the one thing they identified us is what we do is extremely personalized, private, and you will have the attention of the three of us on demand.
Yeah.
That's a signature, and that's why we're different than anybody else.
Yeah, it's biggest thing. Great example. Yesterday on a Sunday, I took a client of mine and asked, Rod, I want you to look at a house with me. We love looking at homes here and real estate and rentals, especially to see what's available. So, and she was on her June tour and moved here, and I helped her find the house yesterday. So those are the type of things we do. But who we are, my name's Rod Larrabee. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I moved here 12 years ago, and it'll be 12 years in October. I was younger than most retired people, but I had my own online business and wanted to get out of the Canadian tax thing. Before we go too far in the introductions, which should only take an hour or two, we do want to mention there's a Q&A button on the bottom of your screen.
Somebody
Ask your
says
questions in there.
it's supposed to be a video on this Zoom call.
Yeah.
Doris, you want to turn on?
You should be able to see us, Doris. Oscar and Rod, we're here. We're waving at Doris. If you can't, I suggest just ending your session and logging back in. And anyway, so I moved here with an online business, hoping to save a lot of taxes, which I did. Oscar and I met in my third month there. I moved here. I was one of these guys that packed a suitcase and picked a location and said, hey, I could move to a new country. So it didn't work well. I run into trouble and had a bunch of problems and met Oscar. He was referred to me by basically everyone I bumped into in Cherokee province, and he set things straight for me and helped me get out of the trouble I was in and got me set up with the right immigration lawyer, the right insurance people, pretty well the right everything. And since that point, we've kind of been business partners and grown into brothers from another mother. Yep. So we did local tours for a while, but it just always seemed that expat thing was calling us, because even with our local tours, we're on a street business, new people would walk in totally lost, not knowing what to do next. And so that's when we started doing private tours. And then just before the pandemic, we in 2017 was the official launch of this company, and we started doing group tours in 2018. We just did 3 the first year, but then 2019 came, and then we got shut down by COVID and took a little break and back in full force.
Yes.
So that's what we do. Oscar, tell us what you do.
Well, what I've been doing for the last, here in Panama for the last 14 years, I originated from Cali, Colombia. My name is Oscar Peña. I've been out of Colombia since 2006. I started my journey in Costa Rica. I was studying hotel and tourism management. So that's why I have quite a bit of the experience with the hospitality and also understanding the demands and what people are looking for from North America. But since I've been here in 2009, when I got here, I saw an opportunity for people that were struggling to get things done because they couldn't understand the culture, because they couldn't understand the language. Now, I was just here after like a year, and me realizing that if that was struggling for me who speaks the language and understand the culture, I couldn't believe what could it be for other people. So I started offering private services for people as an interpreter, as doing a private driving service, and then private relocation service, which in that time was not known as relocation services. I basically, in Panama, I am one of the pioneers of this. one of them. I don't know who was the best, but definitely was one of them in Boquete precisely. And I got experience, got hooked up with a lot of companies. I got to be involved with international living, and that's when I really saw that there was a need for people get somebody hold it by the hand, walking through things, and make sure they don't make mistakes, make sure they're safe the whole time. So that's my passion. That's what I do. I've been involved with different sectors of tourism. I'm jack for all the trades. So and when we do tours, I am the one who can be the driver. I'm your guide. I am your bartending if you have to. I am the one I'm gonna tell you if one thing is, if I think it is not right for you, I'm gonna be the one to tell you maybe this is not for you, or yes, this is right for you. So I've been doing this for the last 14 years in tourism since 2006. So I have plenty experience when it comes to that subject, and this is who I am. And my beautiful wife and manager operations, she's not here. She's from Pennsylvania, and she's right now just landing in Panama back.
Right on.
Megan
Okay.
Thompson.
So the format for tonight is we're going to spend the next hour and a half trying to sell you stuff. Maybe we'll sell an ebook, or maybe we'll sell some of our service. No, we're not. We're not. You're going to ask the questions. We're going to give you the full answers. That is the format. And you can click on the Q&A at the bottom to type in their questions, or we would love to meet some of you guys. You see the little raise your hand down at the bottom of the screen? And on your phone, you just have to click the more button and you'll see it. If you guys want to actually come on screen with us and have a little conversation, ask your questions, we'd love to give you priority and get your questions answered right away. Otherwise, we're going to dive into things in the chat. So who's going to raise their hand? Come on. You see how to do it? There's with the little raise your hand button. There we go. Okay. Promote to panelist. Okay, I am promoting you to panelist. That means you're going to be able to join us on the screen. There we go. Hello, Keith. You can unmute yourself and turn on your video, please. Keith.
Apparently, I can't turn on video because you've stopped me.
Wow, I hate when I do that. I do apologize for that, but please ask your question. Ask your question as you're asking your question. I'm going to.
Good to hear from you, Kevin.
Good to see you.
I want to see you.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to try to turn that on, Oscar, because it should be on by default, but for some reason it's not on this meeting.
All right.
Go ahead, Kevin. Ask a question.
We've been to a couple of meetings, and we're trying to collect as much information as we can. And I guess the news up here, and this is a little off topic, but I want to ask this anyways. The news up here is talking a lot about the huge drought that Panama is going through, and how this is slowing down all the traffic in the Panama Canal, and how it's causing water shortages within the country. I'm just kind of curious, what's the real story on this? Because I know how news doesn't always tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yeah.
Or at all the truth.
Yeah, we can tell you the real story is different than what you're hearing.
Oh, yeah.
There are ships. Tell them about the ships.
Yeah, but that's because of traffic. It's just, we're just think about this. We're about to face Halloween,
And Christmas.
Black Friday, Thanksgiving, Christmas.
Yeah, August and September, that's the canal's two biggest months ever. There's
Yep.
always 50 ships waiting out in the ocean, waiting to get in.
Plenty of water do we have?
We have
do.
no drinking water shortages I've never
Never.
heard of in Panama.
Never.
The canal is low. It's been lower in other El Nino years. We're not crisis.
But not to stop the canal.
Yeah,
Not
but
in that level.
they've had to wait some days for like some of the bigger mega max. What do they call them?
Well,
The real deep ones had
Yeah.
they get a longer wait, but they're getting through.
they're getting through it. It's just because it's so massive, the international worldwide transit of the goods. It's just Panama Canal is the only one to make that shortcut. So it is just a really, really traffic jam right now. It's basically what it is. A lot of even Colombian president was saying about this in Panama's president and the Panama Canal Authority, telling like, don't say lies. This is not the real situation. And I've been there, just flew by yesterday, and I saw many ships, but the canal is going through. It's so much when the one canal can go of this
Yeah.
heat.
It's just it hit at a bad time.
Yep.
You know, it's slowing things down a little bit. Some days they have to wait for the
Yeah.
bigger ships,
Yeah.
but it's the busiest time of the year for the canal.
Is
I'm more concerned really about the, because we're very serious about moving down within a year, and I'm very concerned about the availability of water to houses. And what we're hearing up here is the fact that homes are going without water, and that's my
That's false.
concern.
Not that's false information. That's there is no water shortage to residential or commercial, and the drought is basically been over for the last month. It was in June and July.
Yeah.
It's raining like crazy now.
Now, if you, for some reason some people do not have water, it's not for the absence of water. It's because a pipe broke, or they're doing maintenance, or they're doing something, but not
Yeah,
because
regular stuff.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't have a great water infrastructure system.
no,
here.
no. And that being said, that issue will be affecting more Panama Central, or maybe Colombia, because sometimes it collapse. But the rest of the country, like maybe months ago in the Panama West province, they were having some regulations. No, they were having water. They just kind of like have to regulate. But now they're full capacity. All the wells are full.
Yeah. Yeah, we have,
Okay,
you know,
thank
like
you.
I live in Bajo Boquete, haven't had a water outage in 8 months here, like not even for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some other areas that had water out for 4 or 5 days because they had a broken line
Yeah.
getting fixed. A lot of
Yeah.
people have water backup tanks.
Yeah. That's what we always suggest.
Okay, thank you guys. I
You're so
appreciate
welcome,
your honesty.
All righty, thank you very much.
I'll be right back.
Okay, Lynn, can you turn on your mic and okay, our van just showed up at our door and Oscar's, I think I was out for cleaning. Sorry, I'm just trying to do, Lynn, can you go ahead and ask your question?
Yeah, hey there,
Hi.
Rod. It's nice to see you. Nice to hear from you. And I want to thank you for all the meetings that I've attended and all the information I've got. I've got an Airbnb booked for end of October. And then I'm wondering, how do I find a place? Do I go to like a broker or a or go by myself?
Where
Do you
are
find a
you going to be
place?
looking?
I'm going to be moving to Boquete.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, there are many, like, there's not a lot of real estate people don't handle a lot of rentals in the interior of the country, but there are a lot of independent people that we can introduce you to and stuff like that, to seeing what, like, all depends what your budget is too. If you're looking at a lower budget, it's going to be mostly boots on the ground, renting from Panamanian locals and stuff like that.
Okay, so what is the low amount? Like I was thinking maybe about 700 or 800.
Yeah, that's a medium amount for rental. There's lots available in that price.
Okay, and so how would I begin to start that? Like when I got there, where would I look?
Well, I would, before you get here, send us an email on our website and let me connect you to who we feel are the best people with the best rentals. And what that means is they're legal companies and legal operators, having proper leases with real people. So, you know, not something that you find on Craigslist, in other words. So I'm just going to put our contact us link in the chat so you can click on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can certainly help that.
And how long do you think it'll take to find a place? Like how long should I book?
A good couple weeks, and it depends on when that you might find a place you love that's not available for 45 days or something like that, right? So, you know, that's where you gotta be
Okay.
be prepared in your Airbnb. If you're coming in October, it's probably gonna be extendable. It's not as if there's tons of, like, it's not busy season. If you're coming to Panama, anywhere across Panama in December through April, you're gonna have to really make plans on where you're gonna stay, because that's our high season and things are really busy.
Okay, so I should be okay at the end of October or so.
Well, November's holiday month. It can get you a bit frustrating. We have 5 of our 13 national holidays in November, all centering around Independence Days and parades. Yeah, so,
Okay.
you know, so there's going to be a lot of days where people aren't working and not showing their homes. November 3rd, 4th, 5th, November 10th.
November, December, January is the
November
worst
28th.
months to
Yeah.
look into for
Yeah.
like.
But like I said, if you reach out to me and we can have some people contact you, you might find some, like, they're not going to be showing you anything till like a month before, like at the beginning of October, because things go fast here. And then you might see something you really, really like that you might be able to get held for you with a deposit or something. Mhm.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay. I just got it. Doris. Promote. Oh, I'm trying to remove the panelist. I got a couple things not working. Hi, Amanda. Okay. Hi, Amanda. Would you like to ask a question? You got to unmute yourself. Ah, found it. Oh, that's not the right button. Hi, Amanda. You get your question? Okay. Amanda's mute doesn't seem to be working. Let me ask you to unmute. Okay.
Do we?
I'm gonna move this over here. What's that?
Oh, this one there is still on the screen.
Yeah. Sorry for the technical challenge here, but I don't see remove the panelist. It's disappeared.
Remove.
No, that removes the person totally.
Yeah, but
And they can never join the webinar again. So, see, once removed, won't be able to rejoin.
okay.
Okay. Well, let's bring on, I can always reset the panelist. Yeah, we're just gonna allow it to talk. Okay, Doris, you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hi, I'm the other half here.
Hey, how are you?
We good. We've been moving around there for a bit and trying to get to a higher altitude. We're presently in Palmyra,
Oh, yes.
and that's about 300 feet higher than Boquete, right? Where we are.
Depends where you are.
Yeah, there's different areas of
Yeah,
Palmyra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. We tried it several areas and found some lovely places, and I know one lady is a very good, been very good to us. She's always seemed to help find us a place. But you guys are doing likewise from the sound of things.
Mhm.
Sophia, she's has little units down in near the park, down near the new park, and she's got units down there quite often available. People come and go.
Yeah,
And
no, we're
they're
gonna,
in that.
we'll recommend
Yep.
who we work with,
Yep.
who we know, like both Oscar and I have 25 years of living in Boquete together.
Yeah.
We have a specific group of people that we like to work with, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
we
you
have
a
found
specific
that,
question you want to ask us?
Well, we've been there about 3 years now, and I know it's a little bit rainy right now, but the rain hasn't been there, has it? This year as much.
Well, the last month,
Um,
it's back. We're almost normal month now.
You've had it quite a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. Doris had something to ask, but she just went to the washroom, I think, and then she
Oh.
disappeared too.
Okay, well, you
Okay.
can, you guys can come back on later if you'd like to ask. Okay,
Sure. All
All right.
right, no problem.
we'll talk
Yeah,
later.
Hear you.
Okay. Carol. Carol and Harold, do you want to come on? Carol, you go first.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, wonderful.
So, I have actually signed up for your December tour and I'm really
Hello.
excited. So I'm assuming that that will answer a lot of my questions, but I have one question that will help me pack, which is what's the insect situation? Do I need to bring a lot of insect repellent or?
No,
No?
just bring just maybe wherever is allowed in your if you're bringing a carry-on. But I always have a bug spray. It doesn't get too intense.
Okay,
The only time they might get a little bit intense will be when we're at Las Lajas in Chiriquí or the beach. Because sometimes
okay.
we have either mosquitoes or the nauseums, which will be called also the sandflies. But
We
it's
have
only on a
those themes up
specific,
here, yeah.
yeah, but that's only on a specific time of the day, like
Okay,
between 5 and 8 p.m. or between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. So, but
okay,
usually it happens in the transition of the season, but it's not like that for the rest of the country. I mean, insects, yes, we do have all kinds of insects as we live in a tropical country, but it's not like they will be on top of you all the time. Nah.
Great.
yeah, I was more concerned with like getting dengue or something, you know, so that's
no,
really
no.
good
I mean,
news.
it's not
And I have
impossible.
really stupid, right, okay.
Yeah, it's not
I
impossible.
understand,
Yeah, but we're not hanging out usually in the spots they
okay,
actually forbid to get them. You need to live in an environment or area they have a lot of water, still water sitting for a long time.
Mhm.
That's how the mosquito, the dengue reproduce. We're not ever gonna be in that situation.
okay. And I have one really inconsequential question,
Yes.
one other one, which is,
Mhm.
I know you're in the Eastern time zone, which is fantastic for me because people back home will be able to call me without calculating,
Yeah.
except in the summer. But
Yeah.
what time does the sun rise and set as a rule?
6 to 6.
Yeah.
6 rise,
Perfect.
6 go down.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds perfect. Thank you.
You're so
Okay.
welcome.
All right.
Looking forward
So
to see you in
let's-
December though.
And if you
Yeah, I'm looking
have
forward
questions,
to it.
Carol, you can always reach us by phone or email. Our information is on the, in the email that you get when you sign up.
Right. I've been reading your blog posts, so
Perfect.
thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you soon, Carol.
Harold, would you like to unmute yourself, please, and ask your question? Okay, if Harold's not available, we have one more. Amanda, oop,
Hi
Right.
there.
Hi.
Hi.
Just a question in regards to the types of
What you mute?
oh, because
What you?
I thought that was
Yes.
Harold. Sorry.
Sorry, Amanda. Sorry, unmute yourself. What's the technical mistake?
Yeah,
problem.
my husband has a question about houses and gated communities.
Well, I'm curious in regards to I guess the residences and the housing areas that you show. Do you show, like, would you say most or least often gated communities, or is it more just sort of open neighborhood properties? Well,
bit of
I guess
both.
what are the kind of residential areas?
A little bit of both. We don't go every single place. There is so many options.
Right.
Depends where you are in Panama. We just show some examples. Some of them they could be a way to start point to have to have an idea. Some of them might be even the only one, like per se here in Boquete, one of the gated communities that we think is the best just because the location and all the amenities to offer is Valle Escondido. But that doesn't mean there is no other ones that might be better for you. We have Los Boquete Country Club, we have Los Molinos, we have Lucero, we have Panamonte Estates. So we just show like a example of a place of a gated community of each destination will visit.
Yeah. Mhm.
Can you speak just for a moment, like what's your experience with people moving there in terms of feeling safe? And do you think a gated community is necessary, or will most people feel fine just moving into a Panamanian neighborhood?
Well, that'll be quite a bit wide because Panamanian neighborhoods, it will be depending where in Panama and depending on your lifestyle. Are you renting a very humble place or are you renting a nice place? So that will take you to a different sector of each community in the city or town you're living in Panama. If you have let's say you're in a local neighborhood, but if your rent is over $1,000, you're gonna be a very nice spot. And if you are in a gated community, it also depends where in the country. But if you're paying any gated community within Chiriquí, you will be safe. Panama, generally speaking, is very safe compared to many other countries, including mine, Colombia. For you to have any situation of security, I mean, you really have to be putting yourself in that situation.
Gated communities are especially great for people who don't live here full time.
Yes.
I'll lock up
also.
and go, and you have a security guard looking. They might notice, you got a water break, or you might, you have someone check it. A lot of people that live here part-time always, typically if they're buying, will choose gated community or apartment complex or condo complex over a Panamanian neighborhood. It's just easier to keep during the times they're not here. But like Oscar said, both him and I live right in the town of Boquete, right in Panamanian neighborhoods. And we have no problem going out at this time of night and going walking to a restaurant or coming home from a restaurant. There's just no issues there.
Okay.
For the expats that do come into
Yeah.
Sorry? Oh, I gotta say, do you find there's I guess for the expats that come into the country, is there do you find that they choose one sort of residential setup over another, whether it's coast, big city, gated community, neighborhood?
Everyone's all over the place. We've had people
Okay.
move into estates and move into $400 a month casitas.
Yep.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. So expats aren't congregated in one area.
Well, certainly they would be, like Coronado. They're really popular in the in the towers there.
Yeah.
In Boquete has a lot of expats throughout the town and the gated communities, but it still is a mix of expats and Panamanians.
But you know how you get fully to understand that? You know how? If you come in a tour and you will
Definitely.
how it is.
Yes, we were looking at your website.
There you go.
Very interesting.
There you go. I'm not trying to sell you. I'm trying to give you an opportunity to really see it and be in a safe environment. No, sorry for the expression, no BS whatsoever.
Yeah.
You will say the things how it is.
Yeah, we're not trying to sell you. If it happens, what the
Yeah.
yeah, but
Well, all your tours look booked up for the next year.
Yeah.
yeah. No, we're good. We got a spot in December still this year. That's our last spot. And then we got one in January and a couple in February. So we still got time to come this, within the next year. So
And our last quick question is for access to medical care, like a town like Boquete. I do read I follow a few discussion groups about living in Panama, and I might be misremembering, but I thought Boquete, you don't have big hospitals or access to medical care, like you have to drive 40 minutes.
It's really no different than small town USA or Canada, where you're 30 to 45 minutes from a major hospital. We have a mini hospital here that can sustain you and get you into an ambulance for transport.
That's a basic one.
Yeah, we have lots of doctors' offices. Like for general medical care, you don't have to leave town. Because or if you broke a leg or all that stuff can be handled here, even the x-rays and stuff like that.
Yeah, it might be too expensive. You might have to pay 50 cents for an x-ray in town.
Yeah.
But that's it. I mean, No,
50 cents for the doctor's
very,
visit.
very, very expensive.
Yeah. Mhm. But yeah,
And then so, yeah, so
hospitals are 30 minutes away.
about 30 minutes. Okay. Okay. Thanks a lot.
You were so
Okay,
welcome.
all righty. Thank you, guys. Okay. We haven't quite figured that out yet, but we have one more person. Paul, would you like to unmute your microphone and say hello? And the questions that are getting big in the Q&A.
Hi, my question is there one bank in the United States that is the easiest to work with and won't give you problems because you don't have a permanent address in the United States, like with your family or something like that? You're using an address from a mail forwarding service, a physical address from a mail forwarding service. Is there one bank in the United States that is the most mellow about that?
Well, I'm not going to say there's one particular one. Most of the majors have no problem with where you live in the world. Now, some like I don't know if this is going to change or not, but most of the major, I had an account with Bank of America. I just had to visit them physically once every 5 years and provide them residency documents and electrical bills just to prove where I did live, even though my mailing address was a mailbox in Miami, because that's what I get mail through. But most banks don't have a real issue on where you live. But it is, some are getting tighter. I'm not going to lie to you about that. Some are getting tighter, but I had my Bank of America was closed. I'm not a US citizen, so that was probably why. So they decided no longer to bank with me, but it's not really an issue. I have other US banks. So, but if you're a US citizen, it's not an issue. You have a US passport, and whether you live there or not, you basically have the right to bank there.
Yep.
I physically have what?
Well, if you have a US passport and you can have a bank account, and as long as you don't do anything beyond their terms, like lie to them about where you live and stuff like that, then they can shut you down quickly and they'll send you a check for your balance. That's the thing I want to get apart to all you guys if you do move here, and the ones that have moved that are still lying to your banks and government offices. Don't do it. Figure out how to come clean with them.
So I shouldn't tell. I should be a closed mouth about them, about where I'm actually living.
No, I said you shouldn't lie to them if they ask. So there's no problem. I tell all our guests that take the tour, we have a specific call with them about banking. I have them go into their bank, sit down with one of the officers, tell them that I am going to be living in Panama for some time. I need to set up my account so I can send international wires. Once I get there, I will send you an email with my documentation of my physical address. My mailing address is going to be here. Be upfront with them. Because if they find out that, hey, you used a credit card 497 times in another country without being home, they might question you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's not as if you're ever going to lose your money, but they might say, report back here, or we don't want to bank with you. Where would you like us to send your money? They can't money, but there's nothing wrong. There are approximately maybe someone can correct me if they can Google it, but I heard 8 million US citizens living abroad. So this is not something that don't come across on a daily basis. When 3% of the population of the US lives abroad. There's nothing wrong with it.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
We've got a bunch of questions. Oh, Lynn, we talked about your question online. How do you find a place to live? The best thing is, in low season, April through October at the latest, book an Airbnb for a few weeks and come down and look at places to rent. Always rent from the owner. Try never to rent from, unless the agency identifies themselves as the agent for the owner. Then go ahead.
And the contract must fulfill
Yes,
in Spanish to be legal, and in English, exact copy for your understanding.
the contract's gonna be in both languages. It needs to state the owner and the finca number, which in Panama is the lot number. And then if there's an agent involved, their ID and name has to be on there too. And your name and ID, and and if you don't know, take it to a lawyer. You'll be charged around $75 in Panama for a lease review. And what the lawyer is going to do is they're going to bring up on the computer that finca number and make sure it matches the owner's name on that contract and her ID. Things can, if you're renting a place that's $1,000, $1,500 a month, you're talking about putting $1,000, like $1,500 for your first month and $1,500 deposit. You're putting up $3,000. Spend the $75. Have a lawyer look at it. If you don't know the people, if you come on our tour, we're going to help you find a place to rent.
Yeah, don't chip out to find anything.
Mhm.
Always do the due diligence for, in common sense.
Okay, Shelley, how much money can be wire transferred from a Canadian bank to a Panama bank? All of it. People, we get this question all the time, and it's legit. If you've never dealt with foreign money, you can wire as much money as you want. If you wire over $10,000 US, you got to back it up with documentation on both ends. Now, is there a better bank in Panama to receive? With this, the banks Oscar and I have used over the years, and we've used many, and we've closed accounts at many. So, because we've had bad experiences. Right now is Banco General, one of the largest. Is it the largest? I think it is.
One of the largest, and they have the
And
most.
a little smaller one, Multibank. Multibank seems to have a lot more English staff, and they have an English online app and online banking. Now, Multibank's the cheapest I know of for receiving a wire, $25. Banco General is $35. And I know some Benitsmo, I think it's almost 50. But we're not recommending Benitsmo at this time. We've had a lot of clients close their accounts with them because of customer service issues. So, once the biggest problem is getting your Canadian bank to wire the money. It's 100% best for you Canadians here. There's a lot of you to use an intermediate service, either OFX or WISE, WISE. Check them out online, ofx.com and wise.com. I use both. You can link them directly to your Canadian bank, no questions asked. You move the money through a bill pay, it's free, into OFX, and the OFX wire transfers and Wise wires transfers are basically free. So it really, and you get a way better exchange. If you send from your bank to a Panama bank, you'll lose 3% of the exchange alone. So if you're sending 100 grand, you're gonna lose 3 grand, like if you're buying a house. So use one of the intermediate parties. Is it possible to open a lot of banking questions, a bank account in Panama without living or residing in Panama? I'm going to tell you no, not according to the governor of banking. It is not. You must be in a resident or in the process of residency.
What about owning a property?
What's that?
What about as an owner of property or
Nope.
bank or
You must,
business?
yeah. There's a few
Or
lawyers.
no person?
Yeah.
Yeah, no person there,
Yeah.
no way.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, under a corporation you can
You
without
can.
living here,
yeah.
but that's not. That's a whole different ballgame that you don't want to get into
Mhm.
thousands of dollars. So. Maggie, what happens to my supplemental medical care insurance if I move to Panama? I'm assuming you're talking Advantage Plan. And I'm just going to check the chat. Maggie, are you talking like an Advantage Part B and D type thing? And I'm assuming I would keep it for the first year as you get settled. But if you're willing to lie to them, literally you have to lie to them that you reside in the US and this is my zip code. Some people try to keep it here, but it's not good health insurance because it's for emergency only. They'll only pay for up to the point where you're willing enough to travel home. And if you already sold your house and don't have a home, that's a problem for some. But it's great insurance, the Advantage plans for once you're moving here, you're checking it out and you're getting your residency. Then once you have your residency by international plan here. Okay. Okay, what are the items? We can tell you from a man's side, Oscar and I, what are the items expats wish they would have brought? Oh, nothing. No. What would Megan say now? Okay.
I mean,
you're planning to
your baby car, if you have one. Some toys,
Your what?
some baby car, like, if you have a Ford Mustang 56.
No, I don't think you're bringing that.
Yeah, of
Baby
course.
part.
Yeah, that's your baby.
Okay.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
But things are like, I don't know.
Okay. Plan to
Tools.
ship a few things. There's nothing wrong with shipping a few things. Find a good ocean freight shipper, freight forwarder, not a shipper. I'm not talking, looking at your yellow pages, I'm losing. Get to know people here and find out who they're using to do their ocean freight forwarding. We recommend Mailbox, etc. for ocean freight for heavy stuff. Great prices. You can get it down to $1 a pound. Pack up all your tools, guys, everything, every hammer, every screwdriver. Every good quality tool you have. They don't have a lot of good quality stuff here. If you buy it, it's very expensive. And ladies,
and also for ladies, some cooking stuff, utensils.
anything heavy, like those good stainless
Yeah,
steel
but
things.
now Panama, we have a lot more inventory ever since like probably 6 years ago. There's a lot of stores that have a lot of more inventory about like new electronics or cooking utensils.
But
set
you
of
know, if you
knives.
can't get $1 for it, 100 pounds of that stuff,
Machines.
you can get down here for $100 or $200.
Yeah,
And you can't, and a Vitamix costs $600.
yeah.
So you want to bring stuff like that.
Yeah, but if they're planning to move with only suitcases, then just bring the books you want. But here in Panama, you pretty much will be able to find most of the things. And if you don't, then you can order it through Amazon.
Yeah. Okay, now we're gonna talk about water and sewer. Water surcharge, yeah. Water, we had our biggest increase. I know there's inflation everywhere. We're gonna talk about that in a second. Huge increase in water in Boquete. It went from sorry, I'm trying to do the math, from $36 to $60 a year per household. So it went from $3 to $5 this year, like last year, my landlord was telling me. So yes, everywhere around the country, water's a little bit different. It's usually added to your property taxes. It ranges between $3 and $10. I think Panama City, someone told me recently it was $10 a month, and that's for as much as you use.
Yeah, we still don't have meters for water.
Yeah, there's no meters. Sewer, most places in the interior are septic still. Boquete is very close to launching their sewer system, no less than 5 years, I would think, right? Like the plant is built over here. They haven't fired it up yet, and all the pipes are in the ground, but we're still on septic. Panama City's got a lot. No, it's not all well water. Most of our water isn't well water. Most of our water is river, spring water, fresh mud.
Yeah,
water.
they collect some spots from the rivers, from streams, and they got to a plant when they treat the water and they distribute it to all the pipeline through the town.
Yeah,
it's called the aqueduct.
Aqueduct. Hey Ray, pensionado visa. The requirement is $1,000 for a single, $1,250 for a couple, and you can combine your pensions. So yes, you do qualify with one having $1,000, one having a $400. So you are now happy, right?
Oh, so now to address to Leash about the water. So is all well water in Panama? No. If you're in the islands, do not drink the tap water. It doesn't matter.
No, she's talking well water, ground, like water out of well.
Yeah.
But can you drink it?
No.
Let's talk about that.
Can you drink it? No. Some areas you can, regardless if you can or you cannot. If it's your first time in Panama, your body system is a whole different. You don't have the same probiotics or enzymes in your stomach to process this water. This water here is way different than the water you've been drinking. So you have to do a slow pace. If the water is great to drink, you need to still do a slow pace to adjust. But to begin with, you need to drink bottled filtered water.
Yes. Once you get, most Panamanians drink tap water, but they've lived here all their lives and they're used to their bacteria. What can you tell us about the Los Molinos area? Are there many rentals available there? Do you know what the price range is in that neighborhood?
There is available, comes and goes, kind of like a transient. The range can go starting 900
Well, yeah,
900 to 3,500.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
it's a gated community.
is.
It's the largest one, I think, 400.
It is the
residents.
largest. It
Yeah.
is the largest right now.
It is weather-wise, though.
It's hotter than Boquete. It is windier in a way because it sits next to the canyon. Got a beautiful views for those residents that live right next to the canyon. So
Oh, yeah.
those ones that will have more breeze. But it's quite a bit warmer than Boquete, and sometimes it's quite rainy, but nothing the AC can fix or fan. Especially if the place you live in has open windows and they have like a air circulation, you will be fine with the fan. It's definitely not hot like the beat by any means.
Okay, we got a question from Angela, a question for Oscar. My husband and I are moving to Panama. Can you find a big variety of fruits as you do in Colombia? They must have spent time in Colombia.
Yeah, no, some you will find some here, but no, probably less than 50% what you can get in Colombia. You will find it. We can grow it here, but it's not like a formal grown and sell. So there's no a lot of fruits here hasn't been industrialized. That doesn't mean you can find it here. I mean, if you go in the country, you say, oh, there is a guava tree, oh, there is this tree, but you won't see it in the markets.
Okay, we are now getting into health insurance. Roughly, what can I expect to pay for health insurance as a 72-year-old with a heart condition? Would my pre-existing heart condition mean any heart issues would not be covered by the insurer? Yes, Sharon, that's what pre-existing condition, depending on what the heart condition. First of all, a lot of people get scared and they back away because they said, oh, I have high blood pressure, I have cholesterol, I won't be able to get health insurance. No, they'll even insure you here for diabetes if you take pills to control it. Even though that diabetes is, most people would consider a pre-existing condition if it's under control. So it would depend on your heart condition. If you were taking a medicine for your heart, you would be seen by a doctor. They'll probably have you see a heart specialist and then decide whether or not they're going to cover you or add a premium or something. If you've had heart surgery, then you're going to be totally excluded for heart incidences. And at 70, you're looking at about $400 a month for an international plan with 100% coverage with no copay and around the world coverage with a maximum somewhere between a $2,000 and $5,000 copay. Now, you with the ability of having your surgeries and major work done in the States if you want. You can there's most of the international plans deal with Mount Sinai, like all the top hospitals throughout the States. And if you use one of them, you can have your surgery, your disease, or your treatment done back in the States if you want for a $2,000 deductible. So that being said, I hope that answers your question. There's tons. If you look on our site, retireinpanamatours.com, and look under the categories of the healthcare, I've written 10 articles on healthcare, and lots of it talks about what we talked about there in a lot more detail. Okay, supplement medical, we answered that. I have people ask questions, and when we sent out the notices for the Q&As, they say, hey, so I had Matthew ask a very good question that I constantly get over and over again, so I want to share it with you now. If you got more questions, type them in the chat. We still have about 5 or 6 to go, but just type yours in the chat so we can answer them. But I'm gonna the question has to do with the US dollar and the Panama dollar. A lot of people know we use Panama dollar bills here. And the buying power due to inflation in the US. Is inflation occurring in Panama like the US? So let's address that by screen sharing of what's happening here. I'm going to move my chats over here. And we're going to go to a site called worlddata.info. Just what it says, it collects all real data in real time and seeing what it's like. A lot of people, if you guys spend a lot of time on Facebook, you're going to get a lot of wrong information. A lot of expats say here, inflation is crazy. And I'm going to explain to you why they're saying that. But let's look at the facts, not inflation. Now, we got over 62 years comparison. Panama, this is the performance-based inflation. Panama over the US. Panama is the green, US is the pink. Our inflation has always been less than half of what the US's inflation is since 1967. Now, if we look at the real numbers, there we go, historical inflation rate. Obviously 2022 is the last year completed. Panama was at 2.86 and the US was at 8. Now, the world was at 8.2 as an average. Now, Panama's 2023, if you look here at projected, it's going to be around 2.5. So we are not seeing the inflation that the US is seeing. In fact, you can go a 10-year back and you will see our inflation averages less than 2%, about 1.8, which is very healthy inflation rate, a little bit better than the US's did. We had a big splurge on inflation in 2011 to 2014. And that was just because our GDP was running at 12 to 14%. It was just the country was growing so fast.
Yeah, we had Martinelli.
Inflation, yeah.
I remember those days.
He was spending a fortune and making a fortune.
Oh man, that was so expensive to be in Panama City. I'll tell you, we're
Yeah.
not gonna find any decent place for less than 15 to 2 grand.
So anyone that tells you inflation's a problem in Panama isn't really looking at the whole picture. Obviously, this is Panama, and this number is inflation for Panamanians. Here's the difference. The foreigner from North America that moves here and has to go to Costco every single week to buy their USDA beef and their Tide, for example. Okay, now those products have gone up the same much as the US plus the cost of freight, because freight was one of the biggest inhibiting factors and they got to get the product down here. So those North Americans saw a lot of inflation here. Now, if you bought Panama beef, what about the Panama fillet? Isn't it the best beef ever? Like,
Oh, my man, my man.
amazing.
You can hold the whole piece of filet mignon is starting between 18 bucks, 17 bucks to 24 bucks,
Yeah.
depends where you are.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Where that same product in the States is over 50. Like it's just
Yep.
nuts. And then if you find a laundry detergent that you can live with that's manufactured somewhere in Latin America,
You save a lot of money too.
yeah, you'll
If
save
you use
a lot of
Tide,
money.
yeah, if you use Tide, all those
Mhm.
North American products,
Yeah,
you're always gonna pay a lot more.
or your
If
Tide
you
Pod.
use any import from North America or other far countries, you're gonna pay a lot more because for logical reasons. But if you consume Latin American resources, which we have plenty good ones, when we talk about the meats, including beef, chicken, everything is local.
Mhm.
And the beef, not just you pay less for something local, but you're eating something which is 100% grass fed.
Now, I'm going to tell, like a lot of you guys don't know this. I'm going to explain why this happens. Panama is not a dollarized economy. I want you to understand that. A lot of you think it is. Ecuador is a dollarized economy. El Salvador is a dollarized economy. Panama is not. And to try to explain this better, those $1 bills, Okay, use $1. This is our, a lot of people say this is our currency. No, this is not our currency. This is a 1 Balboa. We purchase old US Treasury bills for circulation instead of printing them ourselves because we don't have a huge economy. It would cost more to print than to purchase the bills the US has thrown away.
So
because
basically,
they've gone through circulation.
the Panamanian Balboa use the US as the same currency for
Mhm.
now.
Yeah, it's paid to the US dollar, but
Mhm.
that doesn't mean, but that prevents, if you look at Ecuador's inflation rate and El Salvador's, they're gonna be similar to the US because they are tied to the US economy. Like literally tied to the US currency. And their interest rates are tied to the US currency. Our interest rates haven't really gone up in the last 5 years. They've always been 6-7% to get a mortgage and 4 to 5% to save money in your savings account. They've been like that for 10 years. Where in the States, 3 years ago, there was 0.1% savings and 1.2% mortgages, and now you guys are seeing 6-7% mortgages. And but that doesn't roll over into a country that's only paid to the US dollar because we have our own currency. We're very similar to Belize. Those of you that have been to Belize, Belize prints their money though. And so they have a $1, a 1 peso is equal to $1, a 5 peso equal to $5, because their money is also paid to the US dollar. Okay, that's my lesson on inflation. So now that when people say, hey, Panama's so expensive, you can say, no, Ron
So
Oscar
it
showed
can
us
be as
that's not
expensive
true.
or as affordable as you wish.
Yeah. Mhm.
I'll tell you that.
Oh, for sure. Okay, we answered that one. And that one. Okay, we want to apply. Okay, I answered that one. I apologize. I just found out you could do this. Oh, little note. Okay. There we go. By the way, California, a lot of Californians. Are there major brokerages in Panama like Schwab? That's a great question. There are no US financial institutions operating on a personal retail level in Panama, US or Canada. So no, your brokerage firms don't even recommend you use a brokerage firm in Panama because then you're going to be subject to Panama taxes. So you want to keep your brokerage firms with a friendly foreign country. When I say friendly, Schwab is. A lot of people use Schwab and they just keep their brokerage accounts in the US. Canada, things like RBC brokerage, they're not friendly towards Panama because RBC got fined in the Panama Papers really big. So, but Bank of Montreal is. So, so you got many options there. So a lot of people try to correct me and they say, I was in Panama City and I saw a Citibank building. Yes, there is. There are a few US institutions, Bank of America, Citibank, and that do commercial lending in Panama. But when I said there's no retail banks in Panama, Canadian or US, that's what I mean. And Scotiabank is the same thing. Scotiabank is a Canadian bank. The Scotiabank here, they have nothing to do with the Canadian bank. You cannot go in there and look at your Canadian balance. And having a Canadian account does not help you open an account either. Okay, can I use a mail forwarding service while filing my US tax return or dealing with Social Security? Cheryl, we're gonna leave that up for you. If you look at your 1080, anyone got one in front of them? Which is, okay, I'm gonna do this because I get this all the time. And I'm gonna talk to my good North American US friends here. PDF. I'm just gonna open up a standard 1080 on the screen. Okay. Oh, this is not the right form. Okay, I did that wrong. Isn't it 1080 US 1080 tax form? You got some type of export form. I just want to do a quick screen share of a 1080 form. Why is that difficult? No, that's what I'm looking for. Ah, sorry guys, I should have been prepared. Oh, here it is. Okay, it says right on your address, home address, city, town address, foreign country. Oh, this is a 1040, wrong form. Right on the front of your 1080 is asked if you live in a foreign country. And you're gonna decide that, how you're gonna answer that. And honestly, lying is not your best choice because you gotta sign your tax return that everything I said here is true, or it's actually a felony. There's nothing wrong. Again, 8 million people live abroad, and it has no benefit for you or no disadvantage. So you can use, like with my government, I use a Florida address as my mailing address, but they know I live in Panama. We just don't have a mail service here. So that is the thing you set up. Yes, Social Security also. You can use your Florida forwarding address if you want to get your checks that way. You'll have the option once you live for a while of depositing your checks into your Panama bank. But if you're not depositing your checks into your US bank, you can deposit them into a Panama bank if you don't mind waiting 21 days for the check to clear. Because again, the US and Canada is not tied in banking. So I hope that answers your question, because I kind of gong showed that one. What I did, I couldn't find the form.
Actually, I was impressed that you found it. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, no, you cannot open up, definitely at Banco General, you cannot open up a bank account without being in the process of residency and showing a lease, and they want a 1-year rental lease. They just updated their terms this year.
Yeah.
They only had it 6 months before. There are some banks, but and I can't recommend them because honestly, they are not. If you need a lawyer to open up your bank account with somebody somewhere down the road could be getting paid off, I would never put my money in there. Because the governor of banking 2021 January, whatever date that was, you can search the governor of banking rules and regulations in Panama. The governor of banking is like the Fed in the US, except they don't print money. They determine banking regulations. And since the different scandals Panama's had in banking over the years, they shut down foreigners from opening bank accounts easily in Panama. Thank you. I'm not ready to relocate. Can I buy an investment property and rent it out without residency?
Yes, you can.
You can.
But gotta be here to look the area, check everything, and just make sure and also be get a good assessment for somebody to like is at least involved in the tourism industry, because to make sure you're not gonna buy something in a place you're not gonna rent it, either for Airbnb or just for long term. Just my 5 cents of advice.
Well, that's true. Absolutely. It's the 1040 I'm looking for, not the 1080. Thank you. That's why I couldn't get everything right there. Okay, thank you, anonymous attendee. I don't know.
Thank you so much, anonymous attendee, but we really appreciate you that. That's good knowledge right there. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm
We're gonna take it
interested
for
in
granted.
renting for a month or two in Coronado. Short-term rent, 2 months in Coronado, 1 or 2 bedroom. What are we gonna pay?
Well, it depends. If you're coming in
A range. Yeah, high season, low season.
well, high season, you're paying $2,000, depends where you are. And low season, you'll pay between 800, 1,500.
Yeah, that's short-term rental. That's 1 or 2 months is considered short-term.
Yeah.
Signing a lease, you could get the same apartment down to 1,500 a month. We got.
But again, it depends
Yeah.
the time of the year and also like.
No,
where-
I mean, if you're signing a year lease, if you're gonna live full-time.
But still,
We have people in Coronado renting.
no, I know,
What
but you know
about-
how fancy, like.
Okay, yeah, but she's, what I'm trying to get, she wants to check it out. So you're gonna pay more for short term is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, in the high season too.
more in January through April than you are the rest of the month.
Mhm.
But you're gonna pay quite a bit more, 30% more than what you could get a full-time leaser.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
especially if you rent it from August to August.
Yeah,
Killer deal.
yeah. If you start renting in November, they get nervous there because they're missing out on their high season.
Yeah, you don't want to rent after October. You want to rent like in June, July, August for a year lease. You got that whole a little bit, a few months of the rainy season. Then you get the pristine of the high season.
Yeah, in
All the
January,
best of the best.
that's the high season. So those numbers Oscar said short term are probably right, close to a couple grand a month.
Oh yeah,
But that's
easy.
not bad. That's only $60 a day. You can't get a hotel for that.
Well, again, depends. Like sometimes in Coronado in the high season, $2,000 only gives you one bedroom.
Yeah.
Depends where you are.
Okay, we are running out of questions, guys, but have we spoken to Yvonne? Anyone want to raise your hand? Our gross payment qualifies us for a social security letter and shows our medical. Don't worry, it's always by gross payment. And it's $1,250 if you are a couple, right? No, it's the gross amount. They don't care what comes out for Medicare or taxes and stuff like that, so. Okay, Yvonne, I think Yvonne was already on, so I'm pretty sure.
No, she's not.
Okay, well, let's see. Yvonne, I'm sorry. Would you like to ask a question?
Sorry.
You gotta unmute yourself.
Are you there, Yvonne?
Anyone else want to raise their hand or type in a question? If not, we're gonna call it a wrap.
I am here.
Hi,
This is
Yvonne.
Yvonne. Hi, how are you?
Unbelievable.
Good.
How about yourself?
I'm great, thank you.
Awesome.
I am planning to visit for quite some time,
Uh-huh.
and I was thinking about taking the Panamanian Canal cruise. Would I be able to do that?
Of course. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's all about to seeing the ability of the either tour company or the cruise company. But yeah, you should no trouble doing that.
Yeah, they got full.
Oh, okay.
They have the half transit, full transit, or even if
Oh,
you
never
just
did.
there is some cruise ships that will depart from Panama or from somewhere else, and then arrive in Panama through the canal.
Okay, so I can take the cruise from Panama.
Yes, there is right now the Rhapsody. I think the Rhapsody goes through the canal, but that's
Okay,
just my assumption. That is just my assumption.
okay,
You can look it up in all the cruise websites and the cruise line and all the tour operators, the travel agents to see which cruise from Panama will cross the canal and then go after us, or on the way back go through the canal.
oh, okay. And one last question. Did I hear you say that mailboxes, etc.,
Uh-huh.
is the best way to ship?
It's one of
If
the
we wanted to,
options depending what are you shipping, because there is another companies. If you're shipping heavy stuff, big stuff, there is another companies that we can
no, nothing heavy.
like a book, like
Just
maybe
like maybe
I think
maybe
mailbox
like
is best
books,
for people.
and
Yeah,
yeah, maybe like books and crafting tools and stuff like that.
sure.
yeah,
Because
mailbox.
I'm a crocheter and I have like a lot of yarn
Yeah.
and tools for making jewelry and stuff.
Oh yeah, light stuff like
Light
that.
stuff,
That's
yeah.
what mailbox is perfect for,
Mhm.
because this is the cool thing why I like them. Some people say they're more expensive. I find them not. Anything under a pound, they don't charge you for that first pound. They charge you for the fraction of the pound. So that's if they're raised $5 a pound and you're 1/5 of a pound, that you're gonna get charged $1. So that's why
Okay.
their system, and they're and as far as they have an app that alerts you along the way, you know when to get it and stuff like that. But once you move here and live here, you're going to look at the multitude of options you have
Yeah.
for bringing stuff here.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
You're so
Okay.
welcome, Yvonne.
I got a
Good night.
question. Thank
Good
you.
night.
I got a question from a guest Oscar that's coming with us.
Uh-huh.
And they're coming with us in second October tour.
Okay.
Darwin, you're on the call, so I'm gonna do just okay. The call is I'm signed up for one of your tours. What product or services are we hoping we purchase through you or when we're on the tour? Well, we hope they buy us margaritas on the beach, but we'll buy you one back. There's nothing. If you come on our tours, guys, we're not selling you anything. There are no timeshares on this tour. Panama doesn't even do timeshares like the US does. So there's nothing more to buy. A lot of people come on our tour with $100 cash in their pocket, and that's all they spend.
Yeah,
That's all they do.
it is. It's all about if you want to get some souvenirs, stuff like that. We're not here to say we're here to show you and to tell you how it is about the culture, how it is about how things get done in Panama. And of course to give you the list of the most reliable contacts that we've been working through over the decades of the life experience living and working in Panama. And besides that, what you're gonna get is us
After the fact, not just on the tour. We'll be in your lives forever.
You see this direct contact to me, to him, to Megan.
Is that mine?
No,
No.
that's fine. But just
Yeah. You have our
That
cell
is
phone
priceless.
numbers, you have our,
that is
and the
priceless.
thing is, we want to be part of your lives. We want, if you're moving to Cherokee, we want to be invited over for the barbecue. If you're across the country when we're coming through, we want you to say, hey, come visit us, come have
Yeah.
drinks. You guys were part of our lives there. And we'll
We are
continue to be.
in one time in our lives we were in the same boat.
On part two of the question is, arriving in Panama City the Wednesday, can we get a reservation at the, yes. Darwin, we assist you, we will book that room at our corporate rates early that we come from, we'll cover it, we'll bill you for it. Just before the tour. If you need to stay after, we'll help you with those accommodations, recommend places to stay and everything. So we become your little travel agent there, which I know other groups just don't do, but we will assist you to do that. Your part three is, how difficult is it? This is a good one. I wanted to bring it up because of the mass amount of Canadians I saw here. I'm going to be as brief as possible on this. I got some guys I've been working with, and we're going to do a Q&A just for Canadians. You're going to have to say something Canadian to enter, or you won't be let in, eh?
Eh?
Yeah. Okay. Oscar wrote that for me. So how difficult is it to get to go non-resident from Canada? Now, this is what we're going to sit down after the tour or during the tour, the whole time we're there. And I will show you your options here. And I've helped many people go through this, and I've stopped many people from even thinking of it because there's no benefit. In Canada, we have it a little different than you folks in the US. You folks in the US, if you leave your country, you must continue to pay taxes to the US for the rest of your life. The only way you can get around it is resending your passport. In Canada, we have a taxation by residency law. Meaning that you only have to pay taxes in Canada on your income if you're a resident of Canada. Panama has a territorial tax system, which means you only pay tax in Panama on income earned in Panama, Panama sourced income. So of the 12 countries in the world territorial, Panama is one of it. It's perfect for Canadians. Because when I left Canada, I had a business that did 6 figures a year, and I was paying 54% tax. I moved to Panama, I filed non-residency with Canada, and the next year I paid 0 tax on that same income because the income wasn't from Panama, so I didn't have to pay. Now we pay our taxes. We have a Panamanian company and we pay our fair share of taxes. But yeah, we will talk about that on the tour directly, or if you want to give me a phone call before to talk about it, if you have some more urgent planning, Darwin, I am here for you. And I also got a couple experts that I can connect you with, and they'll give you some consults on some things to do there. So, and in part 4, I think we're going to be winding it up after this. Oscar, where are we here? Yeah, part 4. What is the approximate legal cost and government fees of the pensionado visa? Approximately give or take $100 either way, 2,300 for a single, 2,800 for a couple. And that really includes everything, folks. That includes your stamps, your translations, your like everything.
I pay about that amount after.
Ooh.
Yeah, I pay. Yeah,
I think you paid a little more than that over the years.
if I told you, you will cry, but I don't want to make you cry. So that's very, very nice for your situation.
Oh, I have to, Yancy, I'm going to give you a fair warning here. The reforestation visa, I would not recommend it. I can't. I know many lawyers that won't even touch it anymore. You're basically, you could be giving away $80,000. There were so many scams, and I've taken phone calls from people. It used to be 40,000 when I first moved here. It was actually the one I was going to get in 2012, but then the Friendly Oscar found out for me the Friendly Nations visa started. But I've had people phone me. I gave the lawyer the $40,000 4 years ago, and I can't find him now, and his phone number doesn't work. Don't forget, it takes 7 years for a teak tree to grow before they can harvest it. It's just not, that's what most of the forestry visas were in teak. I haven't heard. I talked to my lawyer about this 2 weeks ago because they were. I had somebody directly want to connect with the lawyer, and so I had to phone her first, and she said, we can't do it. I don't know who is. So that's all I can tell you on that. Thank you. Okay, if I get my pensionado, do I have to move to Panama immediately? Nope. You have to be here to get your final. You have to appear in person.
To apply and to get the final.
Yeah, you have to be here twice to get your pensionado. And then after that, and this goes for every permanent visa, you have to be in Panama once every 2 years.
All right, it's at 8:30.
Okay, Sharon, the rent. Your rent could be as high as $2,000 a month for short-term rent. And a lot of that's going to be Airbnb, and they're going to show you daily rents of $80 a day with a discount if you take them for 30 days, stuff like that. So we're just giving you an average. You could find something $400 cheaper or $400 more for a 1 or 2 bedroom.
Actually,
that
even
is the highest
$5,000 to $1,000 more.
Oh yeah, you could have spent thousands of dollars more in Coronado area.
In Coronado,
and that's anywhere along that area.
Yeah, in Coronado, easily you can go from 1,500 to a 3,500.
Yeah, but if you want to rent that place in August, you can get it for 1,500.
Something that is 300, 1,500.
Yeah. But anything under 6 months is considered short term here. Okay, we have one more.
Anonymous.
Yes, the anonymous person. How are you again? Regarding the $1,000 pension amount needed for visa for Canadians, the amount fluctuates. It's only one time on the date that you apply. It must equal $1,000. And it does. They never look at that number again. So even if the dollar crashed over the next 6 months, and you would still get your permanent visa.
Yeah, it's one time. So they base the decision on the application. What it will be in the future.
Yeah, we answered those questions. We went live. We talked a lot today. I'm trying to see where everyone is here. Oh, there we go. And we've still got a bunch of you hanging out. So thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so much.
You're going to get a replay of this tomorrow. Feel free if we missed your question, just reply to the email that you got tonight. The reminder email. All the emails will come back to us with anything specific. If you want to reach out to us, please fill out our contact form. Sorry, I haven't posted it in the chat for a while. I'm just going to bring it up. You have to click it first. It's going. I don't know. It's just a little slow and lots of things happening here. Yeah. Chat.
My friends, my peeps, so reach out to us if you're considering to check out Panama. And then you don't know where to go, how to do it. Reach out to us. We're not doing this just last month. It's not like any of us has moved here last year on the last 6 months. We've been here for long enough
Yeah.
to know about the things. And when I tell you something, we have more answer than a YouTube video will tell you, or as many Facebook groups will tell you. And our reputation precedes us. So give us the opportunity, keep believing in us, and thank you so much for your audience tonight and for your time. And looking forward to meet some of you that are coming in the near future tours. And I hope you have a beautiful good night and a happy, beautiful week.
We can still fit one of you couples or a couple singles on the December tour, and just one left on the January and February and March are filling up.
So we only have one couple spot for December. Which couple is gonna come
wants to
with
come?
me in December? And have a great time to learn about Panama.
Look at now.
Look
It
at now.
ain't gonna last. All right, guys. Everyone have a super night. You'll hear from us shortly again, as you always do. We got some stuff, special stuff coming in September with our Q&As. We're gonna do something a little different and talk about little medical stuff and emergency services and stuff like that. We're just getting a final date plan for that. So keep in touch.
Keep in touch. Keep in touch.